the February 5 certification from the DOJ, you executed this, and it was February 10.
Objection.
Correct?
No,
I'm not the one
that's
who
now
executed
misleading.
it.
That's misleading. It's Agent Calilo who executed that, and then you're asking, you executed that. That's misleading.
No,
It's clear
but
on the record.
But this is part of the revised affidavit of investigation, which
Objection
this witness
revised.
co-signed.
The
If he
witness
knows-
already said
if
that
he
they
knows-
did not revise it. They just complied. Misleading, or
Oh, you want to
misleading.
go? Okay, since the,
Counsel, kindly settle down.
To support the recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation, including its attachment.
can you repeat the word before the word affidavit of
Ask and
investigation,
answered,
please?
Your Honor. Ask and answered.
Then I'm not misleading after all.
React tayo dito kung saan itong witness ng prosecutors na itong si Lotok ay nabubuking na naman. Grabe ito. Natatawa nga ako dito kasi dito po sa vlog na ito, magre-react tayo dito po patungkol po kung saan durog na durog itong si Lotok, okay? Tapos ang daming natuklasan itong defense team ni VP Sara. Maraming mga inconsistencies doon, no? Sa kanilang mga dokumento doon sa NBI, sa DOJ, yung mga papeles doon. Grabe. Halatang halata na they are so biased. Nabubuking sila dito kay Binluan, no? Itong attorney ni VP Sara dito, isa sa mga lawyers ni VP Sara dito. Yan po ang ating papanoorin kasi maganda po sa tenga yung ginigisa, dinudurog, ano pa ba? Sinunog. Sinunog kawawa. Oh, yan ang saksiyan natin ha, pero
Oras na, tumutok ka, balita ang totoo. Philippine Pulse TV, piting ng bayan, sabay-sabay. Philippine Pulse TV, boses ng tao, kasama kay...
na natin kaagad ha para tuloy-tuloy ang ating banatan at magre-react tayo. Sabay-sabay tayo para malaman po ninyo kung papaano po nila iniscripted itong witness na ito para lang siraan si VP Sara tapos anong tawag doon? Desperada silang ma-impeach si VP Sara. Ito po panoorin natin.
A manifestation for the record. Let's move on, counsel. Counsel for the respondent. If you're ready with your cross, you may proceed.
Yan, ito na. Ito na yung simula.
Attorney Lotok, the NBI is an investigatory body, correct?
Yes, sir.
But unlike the DOJ, it is not a prosecutorial body, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you have investigators and not prosecutors. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in relation to this case, what you did was only fact-finding investigation, correct?
Finding and recommendations, sir.
And recommendation, not preliminary investigation.
Not preliminary.
Because that function...
Ang galing nitong si Attorney Binluan. I hope I pronounce it well. Attorney Binluan, okay? Magaling ito, no? Kung magaling noon si Narbasas, magaling rin ito.
is with the DOJ, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in the course of your fact-finding investigation, you subpoenaed witnesses, correct?
Yes, sir.
Conducted interviews,
Yes, sir.
gathered evidence.
Yes, sir.
Now, thereafter, you transmitted the result of your fact-finding investigation to the DOJ, correct?
Our recommendation, sir. Yeah.
Na.
Okay. We learned from Agent Calilong last time, just to clarify, that there were two transmittals, correct? The
Kasaligtad
first
yung mga
transmittal was on
props.
January 30, 2025, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the benefit of this court, there was a transmittal letter then, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can we flash that on the screen? For the benefit of our senators, that is page 7 of the Articles of Impeachment, Annex G9 or GGGG. All right. Now, if you look at the document, this was received by the DOJ also on the same day, so January 30, 2025, correct? Well, it is not clear, but it can be read. If I may be allowed to use a pointer, Your Honor, just to...
You may do so, counsel.
It's quite unclear, but actually, if you look at the actual document, it can be read as January 30, 2025. Do you confirm this?
I don't have the document, sir. Maybe.
Well, we have a hard copy, and I asked my co-counsel to show the document.
Co-counsel may approach.
30. Yeah, hindi siya clear, Your Honor.
All right. Now, this was addressed to Prosecutor General Fadulyon. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
Yan yung unang bahagi na may diferensya ito ha.
the NBI's recommendation was for 1 count of inciting to sedition and 3 counts of grave threats. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, attached to this transmittal letter was your affidavit of investigation. I won't bother to read the body, but it says there that it was attached to that transmittal letter, correct? Because, of course, the transmittal letter won't be empty. It has to contain something, correct?
Your Honor, let the witness, I move that the witness be allowed to answer first before the counsel asks a follow-up question.
Witness will please answer.
Ginugulo mo Itong siligutan, ginugulo niya
I think yung copy ng affidavit is nasa DOJ na yung first affidavit.
So there was an affidavit of investigation because Agent Calilong also confirmed this last time. So I just want a clarification from you. There was a first affidavit of investigation dated January 30,
Yes,
2025. All right. But we never saw this because it was never released, correct?
I think nasa DOJ.
Nasa with the DOJ.
For purposes of...
Ang dami ka ng I think.
But didn't you keep a receiving copy for your office?
No, kasi meron na kaming copy sa computer.
So in
namin.
other words, you have a
Your
copy of this January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Siligutan, dinidistract niya
Your Honor,
kapag...
I move that can the witness...
napansin nyo? Siligutan, dinidistract niya every time na parang hindi na makasagot itong si, Lotok.
finish his answer first before the counsel.
Your Honor,
Counsel for
sige,
respondent, kindly wait for the witness to
Ginugulo mo
finish his
eh.
answer.
We will comply, Your Honor.
Yeah. Well, personally, I believe na nandun sa DOJ yung copy and then yung sinubmit sa amin is yung unang certification stating na kailangan yung i-comply itong 7
Alright.
requirements.
Okay. Now, there was also an investigation data form attached, correct?
I don't have the copy, Your Honor.
But if you know, if there is a investigation data form that was attached to it, correct? Okay. Now, very well. Now, the DOJ thereafter evaluated the case.
Part of the DC-15 requirement, Your Honor.
No, it's a yes, sir. It's answerable by yes or
Your
no.
Honor, the witness is in the process of answering a question. He is intelligent enough to answer the question.
Let the witness finish his answer.
Part of the requirement of the DC-15, series of 2024, if I'm not mistaken, the circular has directed the prosecutors to proactively engage in the investigation of crimes or in the criminal investigation. Kaya ho yung ginagawa namin nung nag-submit kami nung transmittal, ang purpose ho nun for evaluation ng ating prosecution. At the same time for case build up. So pag nakita ho ng prosecutor na may kulang, part ho ng evaluation at case build up process, nagbibigay ho sila ng recommendation NBI, may kulang kang ganito, hindi pa sa sufficient, i-comply nyo muna to. Part ho yun ng DC-15 requirements.
All right, clear. So in other words, the evaluation is to determine if the recommendation is sufficient or insufficient for the purpose of preliminary investigation, correct?
For purposes of case build-up, so that the transmittal or referral would be able to comply the requirements of preliminary investigation.
At any rate, preliminary investigation is the next step, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, after the evaluation and case
All
build-up
right.
process.
Can you receive this evaluation or response from the DOJ? Am I right?
You mean the certification, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, the first
No,
certification.
if only you receive.
Your Honor, again. The witness is in the process of answering the question and the counsel is excited to propound a follow-up question. Let the witness answer first.
Same ruling, same reminder. Witness, kindly proceed to answer.
Again, sir? What?
Natataranta
So you
si
received a
Gutan eh.
response from the DOJ.
A certification dated February 5, 2025.
All right. Oh, no. That's not my question. But anyway, let me direct your attention to a certification issued by the DOJ through Senior Assistant State Prosecutor J.V. Lawrence B. Bandong and approved by Senior Assistant State Prosecutor Herbert Calvin P. Abugan, dated February 5. For the benefit of this honorable court and the Filipino people watching, this is Articles of Impeachments Annex G9 as well, pages 10 and 11. May we ask that the witness peruse this certification? Just a manifestation, Your Honor, Annex G9 is actually not numbered. So pages 10 and 11 was based on the PDF file or the soft copy, but the hard copies are not actually numbered.
Noted.
So, Mr. Witness, was this the response from DOJ following your January 30, 2025
Yes, sir.
transmittal? So this certification contained the DOJ's evaluation, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And-
Part of the requirement of
Wait,
DC-15.
again. The same,
Yes, Your Honor.
same.
Your Honor.
The witness still answering. Let the witness answer first before propounding the next question.
And the NBI received this February 5 certification, correct?
Yung copy ko, Your Honor, hindi ko makita yung date.
Oh, I'll help you. There is a note received on the upper right that is unclear. Can we flash that on the screen as well? It is unclear, but it appears to have been received on February 5, 2025, correct? So more or less 6 days after transmittal. Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, before the witness answers the question, I would like to
Yes,
commence
counsel.
my objection on the ground of relevance. May I explain, Your Honor, please? This witness testified that what they filed with the NBI, with the DOJ, is a February 10 affidavit investigation. And here comes the defense now, asking questions as to the first affidavit of investigations that the NBI submitted, which the DOJ asked them to correct and to provide additional information, which they complied with. And what is now at issue is the February 10 affidavit investigation. That's why I'm now objecting on the grounds of relevance.
Your Honor.
What's the wait, let me finish. What's the point of digging into a prior affidavit investigation when what this witness testified to, when what this witness identified is a later affidavit investigation that is now being considered by the DO? The question is simple: what's the relevance?
Objection is overruled. It goes into the credibility of the witness as well as his ability to testify as to his investigative report, and witness is competent enough anyway. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, we received that letter on 10 February 2025 based on the second letter submitted to Honorable Richard Anthony D. Fadulyon, signed by Judge Jaime B. Santiago. It states here that on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025, where the evaluating prosecutors referred the case for case build-up, citing reasons thereof.
Then in that case, Your Honor, we have a problem because this is
Oh, Your Honor, objection.
I'm not yet. I'm not-
Objection.
Kindly let counsel finish.
Because like,
Object
as
agad
I
eh.
mentioned a while ago, Your Honor, this forms part of the records of this honorable court. This was submitted as page 10 to 11 of Annex G9. This is part of the court's record, and we also received this. These are not our documents.
That's why I'm objecting,
These are
Your
the
Honor.
prosecutions. I mean, the
Counsel for the
prosecution's
prosecution,
documents.
kindly let him finish.
These are not our documents, Your Honor. These are part of the records of the court. This came from them, and they attached this to the articles of impeachment. Your Honor, we have all the right to confront each and every document because that forms part of the charge against our client. Now,
Counsel-
if Attorney Lotok is saying, Your Honor, if I may just be allowed
This
to
is now
finish,
a manifestation,
that
Your Honor.
it was received on February 10. We just want to counter-manifest, Your Honor, that there is a received stamp here, says February 5.
Your Honor, this is not highly...
Counsel, the presiding officer already overruled the objection of counsel for the prosecutors, and I thought you would end up with a question. Kindly proceed with your cross-examination.
So in other words, you deny that it was received on February 5, 2025 as seen here in this document that is part of the records of the Senate Impeachment Court.
Well, first, Your Honor, hindi ho ako yung nag-receive niyan. Then pangalawa, ang nakapirma ho rito ang dating director namin, Jaime B. Santiago, at ang sinasabi niya, on 10 February 2025, this Bureau received the certification dated 05 February 2025.
All right. Anyway, I'll move on to a new point. This certification noted 7 items, and we went through this the last time with Agent Calilong, so I won't delve on that. But basically, just to go through this very quickly, the first point says that there is no affidavit of the person, so no affidavit. The second point is, or the second note is the press briefing conducted on October 18, so no TSN and affidavit of the person taking the TSN. Number 3 is annexes I and K with marking, so no affidavit of recorder. And no TSN and affidavit. Number 4, Annex L did not indicate who made such TSN, so incomplete information. Number 5, the affidavit of Juan Patria Morales, so no USB. Number 6, only the minutes of the meeting with several persons, so no affidavit. But I'd like...
Oh, Your Honor, that's my objection now.
I'm just reading
Where's
it, Your
the
Honor.
question?
Wait for the question.
Kindly
Okay,
wait
I'm
for
going
the
to the
question,
question.
counsel.
I'm just
Thank
laying
you.
the basis, Your Honor. Now, I'd like to highlight note number 7. Please allow me to read that portion, or at least the latter portion thereof. It says there, in the instant complaint, only the NBI executed an affidavit and there was no participation on the part of the offended parties. As it appears, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats. My question is this. So based on note number 7, according to the DOJ, the NBI is not the offended party, correct?
Based on number 7, NBI is not the offended party for the crime of grave threats.
Okay, very well. So the offended parties, if at all, are President BBM, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
At any rate, all these, the 7 notes that I mentioned, are all deficiencies in the first affidavit of investigation, correct?
It's not deficiency, Your Honor, because the first affidavit that we've submitted is substantial in terms of
Substantial.
establishing the evidence required. This requirement is a matter of complying the required quantum of evidence required under DC-20. And if I may, sir, the purpose of submitting our referral to the Department of Justice is for preliminary investigation, which under the NPS rules, the new rules under the NPS, the law enforcement agency can submit a complaint affidavit, or in fact, submit a complaint before the DOJ for purposes of preliminary investigation. The requirement that the offended party should have the complaint affidavit is not an indispensable requirement, and so far as the preliminary investigation is concerned. So far as the preliminary investigation is concerned.
Very well. Now, based on that answer, I'd just like to point your attention to the portion of this certification dated February 5, 2025, next to the box tick with an X. Kindly allow me to read, if we can highlight that portion. Okay? It says here, and you can read with me, insufficient for the conduct of preliminary investigation and must first be referred for case build-up. So in Filipino, this is my question, I'll do it in Filipino. So in other words, nakulangan yung DOJ, correct?
For purposes, Your Honor, of satisfying the elements, I mean the required quantum of evidence, the DOJ required us to attach the affidavits and other documents like the TSN, sir.
Thank you. And the DOJ itself mentioned this, correct? Or said this, correct?
Based on the certification.
All right. In fact, let me direct your attention to the portion after, I quote, must first be referred for case build-up. Can we flash that also on the screen? And allow me to read. The complaint/referral does not contain all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime. Therefore, it is recommended that the same be first referred for case build-up. Okay? Now, let me get this straight. I'll summarize first and then I'll ask the question. So, the subject
Grabe, ang daming lapses nila.
incident happened on November 23, 2024, and the NBI conducted fact-finding investigation, as you said. You subpoenaed individuals, conducted interviews, gathered evidence, among others, as you said also, and the NBI spent over 2 months or until January 30, 2025 for this process. Is this a fair summation of what we had just discussed?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
You don't agree. And yet, when the NBI transmitted the case to the DOJ on January 30, 2025, the DOJ found it to be insufficient for the conduct of preliminary investigation.
Objection, Your Honor. Continuing objection as to this series of questions as to the prior affidavit investigation,
kasi
which was
palpak ka na
corrected in February 10, 2025. Continuing objection, Your Honor.
The continuing objection is noted. Same ruling by the court. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The fact that the Department of Justice
That would be
issued
enough.
another
That would be enough. Yes,
certification.
sir.
Kindly
Yeah.
let the witness
All right.
finish,
We will
counsel.
comply, Your Honor.
The fact that the Department of Justice issued another certification on February 14, 2025, and it states here that the referral is sufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation and that it contains all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime and should be docketed for preliminary
With the
investigation.
permission of the parties. Attorney Latok, that's the second certification.
Yes, po, Your Honor. The second certification.
Counsel for the respondent.
Yeah, we will go to that. In other words, based on this certification, the DOJ did not affirm the NBI's recommendation, correct?
No, part of the process of evaluation and case build-up, the DOJ require us to comply with the requirements na hinihingi nila, gaya ng mag-attach kayo ng affidavit, mag-attach kayo ng TSN, pero wala hong sinabi ang DOJ doon na hindi substantial yung aming affidavit. Ang require lang ho nila, mag-attach kayo ng yun nga, yung affidavit na nirecord yung video, at then yung TSN, sir.
Well, according to you, but we just
Oh,
read
no, you're
that it was
argumentative.
insufficient.
Objection, argumentative.
Argumentative, asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
Okay, that's interesting because there was a 2025 impeachment complaint filed against VP Sara also on February 5, 2025. If you know.
But again, Your Honor, what?
The date is important because there was also a February 5, an impeachment complaint filed against VP Sara also on February 5, 2025. Correct?
Hindi ako familiar.
You're not familiar. That's okay. If I may refresh your memory, this was the fast-track 2025 impeachment complaint signed by the
Objection, Your
215
Honor.
representatives.
If a ground arises, a counsel can object. The term fast-tracked,
Oh, Your Honor.
you are labeling a process made by House of Representatives as fast-tracked. Objection, Your Honor,
Counsel, move on and ask your question.
If you know, if this coincides with a impeachment complaint that was signed by the 215
Objection, Your Honor.
representatives.
There's no basis. This counsel,
If you
this
know.
witness, again, already said that he is not aware that on that day there was an impeachment complaint. There's
Counsel-
no basis for that question.
Counsel, witness already answered. The counsel for prosecutor is correct. Witness already answered. He's not familiar with the filing of an impeachment complaint on that date.
At any rate, this
Move on.
pertains to the November 23, 2024 video, correct?
Objection vague, Your Honor. What's the question? Referring to a video. Objection vague.
Kindly restate your question, counsel.
The complaint. The complaint that was filed against the Vice President also pertains to the November 23, 2024 video.
Objection.
If you know.
Again, vague. Complaint filed on that date.
Well, if he knows, he already answered. He doesn't. Who knows? He might all of a sudden recall. Do you know? Are you familiar with that, Mr. Attorney Latok?
I said, Your Honor, hindi ako familiar nung filing nung sa impeachment.
You're not familiar. Okay, I'll move on to a new point then.
Move on, counsel.
Now, did you rectify your January 30, 2025
So, no.
affidavit of investigation?
January 30.
January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation. In short, the first affidavit of investigation.
We complied with the
You complied.
requirements of the Department of Justice.
All right. Did anybody ask you to rectify?
What do you mean, sir?
Microphone. Use the microphone.
What do you mean?
Did you receive any directive from anybody to rectify that affidavit of investigation?
Objection argumentative. The question was asked. He said we complied, and then he's now asking the
I'm
same
asking
question.
who? I'm asking if there is another person who directed you to satisfy the requirement.
Overruled.
withdraw,
Witness
withdraw.
will answer. Witness is an intelligent witness. Aside from the fact that he's a lawyer,
Your Honor, when we received the certification dated 05, February 2025,
Binabara niligutan.
ito ho yung kinumply namin.
All right. And you added affidavits executed by your agents, correct? To your revised affidavit of investigation, correct?
No, we didn't revise the affidavit of investigation. We just produced the affidavits of the fact that the video was recorded and there was TSN. Yun ho yung inattach namin sa affidavit of investigation.
So you are denying that you produce a revised affidavit of investigation.
Well, when you say kasi revised affidavit, binago namin yung affidavit namin. Hindi ho namin binago, Your Honor, yung affidavit namin. Nag-require ho ang Department of Justice, kulang kayo ng affidavit as to the fact na nirecord nyo yung video, kulang kayo doon sa affidavit kung sino nag-execute ng TSN, etc. But not the substance ng affidavit, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go back to the point later, but let me highlight one very important observation. Okay, your January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation included a transmittal letter, as you said, as well as in an investigation data form or IDF, correct?
Wala akong kopya dito, sir.
You don't have a copy. Okay. In fact, let's show that IDF. Page 12. This is page 12 of Annex G9 for the benefit of this honorable court as well. Okay. This is an investigation data form. You're very familiar with this document because you're an investigator, correct? Now, this was...
kindly wait for the witness to answer.
He
Are you
nodded his
familiar?
head.
Yeah, investigation data form, sir.
Okay.
Opo, Your Honor.
All right. So, in other words, the IDF serves like a cover letter for your affidavit of investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the transmittal letter, along with this IDF, was received by the DOJ, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, sir.
All right. Now, my question is this. Was the investigation data form also received by the DOJ?
I don't have personal knowledge.
You don't have,
No.
but you were the one who caused the filing of the affidavit
No, I-
attached to this
I-
affidavit of investigation data
I
form,
instructed
correct?
the agent on case as well as the executive officer na pag kumpleto na, pwede niyo nang i-file yan sa Department of Justice for purposes of evaluation and case build-up if warranted, sir.
Okay. But here, upon perusal of this investigation data form, there is a stamp receipt in the upper left portion of this data investigation form. And I'd like to note, Your Honor, and for the benefit of the court, can I ask my co-counsel also to distribute among the senator judges a printed copy so that they can peruse this document better, as well as the witness, so he can confront. There is a stamp Department of Justice received, but it appears that it was initially stamped February 2, 2025, but there is a marking, a manual marking that converted it to January 30, and there is also a word there, JAN. So January 30 ang lumabas, no?
Okay.
My question to you is this. The stamp says Department of Justice, correct?
Well,
No,
wala akong hawak na document ko,
You
Your
can
Honor.
perceive it.
Kung-
And
kung
mind you,
yung-
these are not our documents. These are part of Annex G9
Ayan,
of
no?
the Articles of Impeachment. So these
Ebidensya
are not
yan.
our documents.
Your Honor, I would like to object now. The witness already said that he is not aware as to the actual filing because he only asked his agent on case to investigate. And then now the witness is now being propounded to question as to what appears on the stamp as to the time or date of receipt by the DOJ. So the witness said he is not competent to answer that. Your Honor, please. Oh, wait, I'm not done. That's the first one. Your Honor, please. No need for the court to rule, but I am registering my continuing objection to the series of questions as to the prior affidavit of investigation, when in fact, this witness already said that he complied with all the requirements by the DOJ and came up with a February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. So I move that it be noted, Your Honor, please. The
The
continuing
continuing
objection.
objection of counsel for the prosecutor is noted, but counsel, as pointed out by counsel for the respondent, this is part and parcel of the complaint
Yes, ma'am.
that the panel of prosecutors filed
Kasi
before this court.
nabubuking yung mga dokumento nila, kulang-kulang.
If the witness knows, he may
May
answer.
mga lapses.
So the question is, the stamp says Department of Justice, correct? It's a very basic question.
Again, I don't know, Your Honor.
No, based on this document,
Argumentative, Your Honor.
the only question is, it says Department of Justice, correct?
As I've said, Your Honor, hindi ako ang nag-file. May inutusan daw ako.
Do you see it in the screen
Oh,
and do you
Your
see it
Honor,
in the
the
hard
witness-
copy?
Counsel asked and answered, move on. That's
Okay.
the response of the witness.
So will you agree that considering that this was supposed to be received by the DOJ, it is only the DOJ that has the authority to change the date?
Again, you asked the DOJ, sir. Wala ho akong
Exactly.
idea dyan.
All right.
Counsel for the prosecution, kindly
Bubuking
avoid.
All right, but
Side
this is
remarks.
not from the DOJ. This is your copy. This is a receiving copy. So when you receive back you're receiving copy. You did not bother checking this portion.
Your Honor, hindi ako personally nag-receive niyan.
But this is your affidavit of investigation.
Objection,
Trabaho niya yan.
argumentative, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
Asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
All right. My question to you now is this. The discrepancy is not 1 day or 2 days. The discrepancy is from Feb 12 to January 30. So it is a substantial discrepancy. My question to you is this. Who changed this
Objection.
date?
Objection, Your
If
Honor.
you know.
That's misleading, Your Honor. My goodness, that's misleading. This counsel is assuming that somebody changed what? The counsel failed to elicit any answer from this witness. And now the counsel is conceiving that somebody changed that and confronting our witness with that. Misleading. This is the classic case of a misleading question.
Counsel-
You assume something that has yet to be established. That's not how we do it, with all due respect.
Counsel for respondent, I think you made your point and you gave a copy to the senator judges, and we see your point.
All right.
One.
But my more important observation is this.
Objection, Your Honor, please. You are supposed to ask questions.
Yes,
and not
I will.
make
I'll go to the
accusations.
question. I will go to the question.
Kindly allow counsel for respondent to finish his question. He may just still be laying the basis. You may
Thank you,
proceed,
Your Honor.
That's
counsel.
precisely what I'm doing, Your Honor. Can I direct everyone's attention to the date appearing at the bottom portion of this document?
Yan.
It says here.
Counsel, technically not everyone, just the witness.
Yes.
And let's see if the witness can answer your question.
It says here February 11, 2025. So in other words, it was and it says here subscribed before NBI agent Ricarte. In other words, the date of the document is February 11, but it was received on January 30, 2025 by the DOJ. Do you have any explanation for this? That's the
Objection,
question.
Your Honor. Objection. This witness is incompetent to attest to that exactly because he said he is not aware of this series of facts. I know where the counsel for respondent is going. Unfortunately for him, his line of argument was already nipped in the bud when this witness said he is not aware of that. He should move on to other points.
Your Honor, the witness said that the investigation date, this investigation data form was attached to the original affidavit of investigation.
Ah.
And we want an explanation why there is a discrepancy on the date. The witness is a lawyer.
Exactly,
He has
that's
an
the point.
experience, Your Honor, in filing cases. We just want to know, Your Honor. We want to get to the bottom of this
I am object to that.
if-
Considering
the
also,
witness-
Your Honor, that this is about transparency.
Will the parties please settle down? If the witness knows,
Yes.
Attorney Latok, do you know? Can you explain the discrepancy, or are you personally aware of the discrepancy?
I cannot explain this, Your Honor. Unang-una, hindi ako nakapirma dito, hindi ako nag-receive. At wala akong ideya dito sa...
But Attorney Latok, you see the point that the counsel for respondent is trying to make, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That the
But,
date of receipt was changed to 1/30, January 30, but it was subscribed to on February 11. Meaning, you see it, but you have no personal knowledge how that came about.
yes, Your Honor. I don't have
Move on,
personal-
counsel.
Maraming lapses
So,
nila.
doesn't this demonstrate that that the document was
Allow
tampered
counsel to
with?
finish.
Doesn't this demonstrate, if you know that this document was tampered with, does
Objection,
that
Your Honor.
demonstrate
Exactly. He's now arguing with our witness. Your Honor.
Tampered pala.
Sustain. Move on, counsel. Move on to your next topic, counsel.
that? Your Honor, but you agree, Attorney Lotok, that the IDF is not a simple cover letter,
Nahihirapan na.
correct?
Ask and answered, Your Honor.
Okay, in fact, it is an affidavit, correct?
Yeah.
An IDF is an affidavit, correct?
An ID? I don't think so, Your Honor. It's not an affidavit, Your Honor. It's
The investigation data form.
not an affidavit.
So you don't agree. So in other words, this certification part here, and with the subscribed and sworn to, it is for you. This is not an affidavit.
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just
Objection,
made my
argumentative.
question more specific, Your Honor. There is a part here, subscribed and sworn to, and the witness is. I want to ask the witness if he considers this document as an affidavit despite this portion. What's the answer? Is it an affidavit or
Attorney
not?
Latok, is this sworn to? Is this document sworn to? The what's the title of the instrument again? Can you go up?
Investigation data form, Your Honor.
Is an investigation data form subscribed and sworn to by the person filing it? To your knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor. There is subscribed and sworn to before this 11th day of February and signed by the administrating officer.
Okay.
And as law practitioners, we know that when we file a case before the office of the city prosecutor, this actual page is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor.
Your Honor,
Correct?
again.
If
Objection.
you know, you are a lawyer
Continuing
and you are a
objection as to-
supervisor
If
of
I
your
may.
department. I'm just asking a basic question.
I am now-
As a law practitioner, as a lawyer, you know that this IDF is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor when you file a case, correct?
If I may objection, Your Honor, continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of
Noted,
questions.
same
Your Honor.
ruling. Witness may answer if he knows.
Again, Your Honor, before the prosecutor?
Correct. In normal cases, the IDF is subscribed and sworn to before the public prosecutor, correct?
Well, in this case, Your Honor, it was administered by Assistant Director Glenn Ricarte, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Isn't Ricarte from the NBI?
Yes, Assistant Director po siya.
In other words, this is a DOJ document but you made your subscription before an NBI agent. Isn't that supposed to be before the DOJ agent?
But again, wala akong personal knowledge dyan sa details na yan, sir.
Booking sila. Patay na.
Siguro tanungin nyo kung sino ho yung naka-affix ang signature.
All right.
Sir.
But what is worse, if I can direct...
Your Honor, objection. Another objection, Honor. You know, this council is in the habit of inserting,
Your Honor,
adding value
if we
to
may
what is otherwise.
Just be allowed to continue, Your Honor. This is our time. We've given them enough leeway, Your Honor, after more than hours.
Let him lay the basis of his question.
Yes.
All right, can I direct your attention to the upper right portion of this IDF? It states docketed 3/7/2025, and there is a docket number XVI-INV-25C-00048. Again, this is not with the source of this document is not the DOJ. This is your receiving copy, correct? In fact, this was part of the subpoena documents which you sent to the House of Committee on Justice, correct?
Objection. Compound questions. 2 questions.
Okay, I'll
Kindly reform, counsel.
so, all right. My question is this, okay? So, do you confirm that there is a marking on the upper right which says docketed 3/7/25, and there's a docket number assigned?
In this document, sir, yes.
All right. We manifest, Your Honor, that this is still the same Annex G9. So, in other words, you're telling this court that this document was subscribed on February 11, 2025, received on January 30, 2025, and docketed on whatever it is, July 3 or March 7, 2025. Is that what you're saying?
That's compound. That's compound. You're asking 2 days and asking for 1 question.
No, Your Honor, I just described the document
Exactly.
as it
Compound
is.
question. Ask 1 question per date.
Natataranta.
That is exactly the genius why we don't allow compound questions. You're asking 2 questions and asking this witness to answer once. That's dangerous. That's
Counsel,
compound question.
counsel, presiding officer will clarify the matter. Questions were earlier asked already with respect to the February subscription and the January 30 receipt. Insofar as the docketing is concerned, do you see the numbers and or dates 3/7/25, Attorney Latok?
Yes, Your Honor. In this document, there is number 3/7/25.
And for clarity, NPS docket means National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Opo. Yes,
So
Your
it's a
Honor.
docket of the National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
All right. So now I'm showing you pages 169, 168, 169 also of Annex G9. This pertains to the affidavit of Agent Kalilung, which is an attachment now to the revised affidavit of investigation. You added this document to rectify the January 30 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Again, sir?
You added this document in order to rectify the January 30, the first affidavit of investigation, correct? And we will confront you with the document. Again, these are not our documents.
The document was signed by Agent Mark Kalilong and subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Van Homer Angluben. Sir.
Okay. So in other words, I just want to take a look on the date. Can we flash the date? So when you received the February 5 certification from the DOJ, you executed this, and it was February 10.
Objection.
correct?
No,
I'm not the one
that's
who
now
executed
misleading.
it.
That's misleading. It's Agent Kalilong who executed that, and then you're asking you executed that. That's misleading.
No,
It's clear
but-
on the record.
But this is part of the revised affidavit of investigation, which this
Objection.
witness
Revised.
co-signed.
The
If he
witness
knows-
already said
if
that
he
they
knows.
did not revise it. They just complied. Misleading, Order.
Oh, you want to go?
Misleading.
Okay. Since the,
Counsel, kindly settle down.
Ay,
The
nako.
question, Attorney
Natataranta
Latok,
eh.
is,
Natataranta ang witness at itong si
in order to
prosecutor
comply with
ligutan.
the DOJ requirement, this
Ayaw niyang
affidavit
matuklasan
signed
ang
by
palpak eh.
Agent Kalilong. And it's the date, February 10. Meaning in compliance with the DOJ observation, is this one of the affidavits that you added? And is it dated?
Although I don't have my record, it appears so, Your Honor, based on the document shown to me by the counsel.
Both as to the fact that it was one of the affidavits added and as to the date, Attorney Latok.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
all
Move
right.
on, counsel.
I'm showing you another affidavit. This is page 178, 179 of Annex G9. This now pertains to the Geran affidavit. This was also an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation.
Objection again, Your Honor, please. The continuing use of revise, when this witness already said that they did not revise anything, they just complied with the requirement. That's now misleading.
Your Honor, just
many times over, misleading.
All right, just to put this issue at rest, Your Honor, I'm confronting the witness with a letter to Richard Anthony D. Fadulion dated February 11, 2025. And I want to read, Your Honor, the last paragraph thereof. It says, to support our recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation. This is not our document. This is the NBI's document. Can Attorney Lotok be confronted with this document, please?
It
Attorney
was signed.
Latok, please answer.
Yes, Your Honor. It was signed by then Director Judge Jaime B. Santiago.
Can you confirm the last sentence for the record? Can you read it for the record?
To support the recommendation, Attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation, including its attachment.
Can you repeat the word before the word affidavit of
Ask and
investigation,
answered,
please?
Your Honor. Ask
Asked
and
and
answered.
answered.
Then I'm not misleading after all. Anyway,
Objection, Your Honor. That's an unnecessary statement. Counsel is supposed to ask questions and not make these remarks.
Councils, kindly settle down. We're about to wind up the day. Or asking a question is merely making...
So ayan no, na nabubuking eh. Sasabihin pang misleading pero yun pala, hindi pala misleading si Binluan. Ayan no, comment kayo, mag-react kayo anong masasabi niyo doon. Obvious na obvious itong siligutan. Binabara niya kasi ayaw niyang mabuking ang mga laps